when they take on the Rams, they can get a feel for what the Bucs are about and how the Rams can attack them and get at them. And I'm sure they'll be dialed in as they game plan, waiting to see what tonight looks like.
You know, I'm curious for tonight, Key. What version of Jared Goff are we going to see tonight?
Hopefully not the Jared Goff that went down to Florida the last time and they played Miami. Hopefully you don't see that Jared Goff, or you don't see first half Jared Goff against the Buffalo Bills. You see a guy who looks like a $100 million quarterback against a defense that a lot of people had as the top in the NFC and now kind of has come back to the pack. The Buccaneers defense was solid and sound early part of the year, but since then they've kind of tailored off a little bit. I know they had a good game against Carolina, but it's the Carolina Panthers a week ago. Now you get a real offense with a real offensive mind coming into town with Sean McVay, the head coach who calls the offensive plays. You got real receivers out there with Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods and Reynolds. You got Jefferson out there. You got tight ends that are there. You got a quarterback, got a running game. It's a little bit different. It'll be a different task for the Bucs defense. But like you said, Jared Goff, what Jared Goff are we going to see? That's going to be key.
No question about it. Once again, hit us up, 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. Who's the one team Kansas City doesn't want to face in the playoffs? Or if it's easier for you, Key, J, and Z. Key is going with the Raiders. Is the Chiefs' defense good enough to win the Super Bowl? You had mentioned they can score a plenty. They tightened up under defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo last year when they had to. But yet again, I'm watching last night's game, and I know you said Derek Carr's playing great football, but they're just moving it up and down the field. Luckily, they got a guy that can move it down the field just one extra time to help you on offense.
Well, it's the opponent. I know you. I'm in your division. I get a chance to see you every single week because I'm watching. Even though I'm not playing against you, I'm probably watching some sort of tape that has you on it because we play the same opponents. So I'm watching you every single week. So I kind of know what your strengths and your weaknesses are. This isn't Green Bay playing the Indianapolis Colts where they've only seen them a handful of times. This is a team that I see twice a year. Plus, you play Denver, we play Denver. You play the Chargers, we play the Chargers. You know, and then the teams that you play outside the division, we play because we're in the same division. If you play somebody in the other conference, chances are we're playing that same team in the other conference. So every single week, even though I'm not studying game film on you, you show up because I'm studying game film on the opponents that we both play.
Let's head to the – go ahead, Jay.
I think the Chiefs' defense is serviceable, Key, right?
Absolutely.
And my thing is that their offense is so potent that it almost gives so much pressure on the opposing team's offense to keep up with that pace. You know, Nick Saban this weekend said something I thought was interesting. He said, it used to be that good defense beats good offense. And he says, good defense doesn't beat good offense anymore. You know what I mean? Good defense doesn't beat. I think what he was meant to say is, like, if you have a really good offense, it doesn't matter how good your defense is, your offense can outbeat your defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
I read it wrong. Sorry.
But
you know what I meant to say.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. But the problem is those defenses aren't around like that anymore. You know, my Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense is not in the NFL right now. The 85 Bears are not around. The Baltimore Ravens defense with Ray Lewis and all those Suggs, and they're nowhere to be found in the National Football League right now. But if you took those defenses that I'm talking about and placed them in the NFL right now, they're going to get the best of them offenses. I was on a Buccaneer team, and our defense was stupid, obviously, playing against a Ram team that was the greatest show on turf. They didn't want no parts of Derrick Brooks now.
Right.
They was laying down.
Stupid good, by the way,
stupid
for people
good.
that don't know.
No, not stupid smart.
Right.
Stupid good. Stupid good.
And we should mention to Jay's point, right, Saban's a defensive guy, but that's why they've gone to tempo. They've got to realize we have got to score.
Man, Booger McFarland and them dudes, they was going to eat. I know Patrick Mahomes is great and all that, but I'm putting my money on John Lynch and Warren Sapp and Simeon Rice and Booger McFarland and Rondé Barber and Brian Kelly. I'm putting my money on them. I promise you I am. Because I know what they coming to the party to do.
Indeed. Let's go to the party. Let's go to the Dr. Pepper call-in line. We're asking you this morning, one team the Chiefs don't want to face in the playoffs. Hit us up, 888-ESPN, Key J and Z on Twitter if that's easier for you. Clinton in Ohio, you're on ESPN Radio. Who does Mahomes not want to see?
I would guess it would be the Steelers. And the reason why is I think they've had some experience like trying to keep like Lamar in the pocket. And I think if they keep Mahomes in the pocket, you got Watt coming in, putting a little bit of heat on him. And I do believe that Steelers have the best defensive line to at least cause them the most problems.
Yeah, he certainly can go with the Steelers. The Steelers are not in the question, right? I mean, it's the Steelers and the Raiders, but I just like the Raiders because they beat them once. They took them down to the wire second time, and they kind of know them because of the division. But you're certainly right in terms of the Pittsburgh Steelers and what they could do defensively to the Kansas City Chiefs.
I agree with him. It just still feels like we're still talking. The Steelers are still undefeated, but yet we're talking about them like they aren't one of the best teams sometimes.
No, it's not
they
that
still feel underrated.
I could have said the Steelers to make it easy for everybody.
No, I get it.
But that's easy, right? They undefeated. Oh, the Steelers. You got to look at the defense at the Raiders and the style in which they play, the matchups, the division, knowing them, all that sort of stuff is important to me. I know the Steelers can go toe-to-toe with them, but I don't necessarily know that Andy Reid want to see the Raiders a third time.
Last one before we head from A to Z. Brendan in West Virginia, you're on ESPN Radio this morning. Who's the one team the Chiefs don't want to see?
Well, I don't want to. I hate that, I wasn't able to get in first because, that's what I'm saying, the Steelers. But, I completely agree with Keyshawn there, though. The Raiders, I think John Gruden's, I'm not going to say he's figured it out, but, you're not going to stop Mahomes from getting 30. But, are they going to stop you from getting a 30? And obviously the Raiders have proved that they can. But, yeah, the Steelers are just with their front seven, where you got an interior lineman like Tuitt with 7 sacks and Dupree and Watt off the edge. I think that's the team that they definitely don't want to see. But, I think he's 100% right there with the Raiders also. I think that's definitely the two teams out of the AFC that they don't want to see. But I wanted to ask you guys, you play the schedule you're given, right? So
yes.
The Steelers, of course, they're 10-0 because that's who they've got to play. And still, though, you have these guys that, not saying you guys, but you still have these guys ESPN and Fox that just don't want to give them the respect that they have because they played a kind of only a kind of a soft schedule besides that 3-game stretch. So, what is it else that they need to do besides, keep doing what they're doing, averaging 30 a game, and their defense is obviously leading the league in sacks and picks. But, what else? What is it that people's not seeing to give them the respect that they're due?
Well, I think they do get the respect, but the easiest thing for someone to do is go to a schedule and say, oh, they don't play anybody. Well, okay, so what? They play. It's not like they playing the Jets 10 straight times. It's not. The Jets and the Giants are on their entire schedule 5-5. No, it doesn't work. You play who you put in front of me, and we taking care of business. I understand the Jaguars look good for a minute there, but then we pull away. We win ugly. That's who we are. We're the Pittsburgh Steelers. We win ugly. We pull away when we need to.
Look, they're out of their next 6 games. You have the Ravens, you have the Bills, you have the Colts.
3 good teams.
3 really good teams.
So when they beat those teams,
exactly,
what are people going to say?
People are always going to find something to say.
Always.
No doubt. By the way, keep an eye on Steelers defensive coordinator Keith Butler. That's another guy that's going to get a ton of looks this coming off season. They've played outstanding. All right, so can somebody pick somebody other than the Steelers? I get it. They're 10-0. The Chiefs are looking up at them. It makes total sense. Robert in Las Vegas. This may be going a certain way. Robert in Las Vegas on ESPN Radio. Who's the one team the Chiefs don't want to see?
Hey, fellas. Hey, I got to give a shout-out to my boy, Keedy Weed, first of all. I've been dying to get on the phone and say...
See, you messed up.
At the worst possible moment. I wanted to say, and then he's gone.
He's probably on the 15 driving somewhere in Vegas. That's the highway in Vegas.
Gotcha. He was going to say the Raiders. So the Raiders have
sure.
some company.